Have you ever felt like you were living two lives? One life, where you smile, laugh, and act normal. And another life, where your heart is screaming, begging to be free. Today, I'm going to tell you a story set in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, Norway. This is not just a story. This is the story of someone who thought they were broken until they realized they were never broken at all. In a quiet town near Tromsø, where the snow stays like a blanket for months, there lived a boy named Elias. Elias was 19 years old. He had bright eyes, soft hair, and a calm voice. To everyone around him, Elias looked like a normal Norwegian boy. He went to school, he worked part-time at a small cafe, he smiled politely at strangers, and he always said, "I'm fine." But the truth was, Elias wasn't fine. Because Elias had a secret that he never spoke about, a secret he never shared, a secret he buried so deep inside his heart. He almost forgot who he truly was. Elias was gay, and even though Norway is one of the most accepting countries in the world, fear can still exist. Because sometimes the biggest enemy isn't society. Sometimes the biggest enemy is your own mind. Every night, Elias would walk outside and stare at the sky. The sky above Tromsø was different. It was wide. It was endless. And during winter, the most magical thing would appear. The northern lights. Green. Purple. Blue. Like a rainbow dancing in the darkness. Elias loved the aurora because it reminded him of something. Something colorful. Something alive. Something that didn't hide. Elias would stand in the snow, freezing, looking up, and whisper quietly, "You're so free." But inside his chest, his heart would feel heavy. Because Elias didn't feel free. Elias was at the cafe, serving coffee to customers. A group of tourists entered, laughing loudly. One of them was a young man, maybe around Elias's age. He had curly hair, a warm smile, and a rainbow scarf wrapped around his neck. Elias noticed it instantly. The rainbow scarf. Elias felt his hands freeze. His heart started beating faster. The young man ordered a hot chocolate and said, "It's so cold outside, but the city feels warm." Elias smiled nervously and replied, "Yes, Tromsø is cold, but beautiful." The young man looked at him for a moment, then smiled gently, and he said something Elias never expected. "You have kind eyes." Elias almost dropped the cup. He didn't know why, but that small sentence hit him like a storm. Kind eyes. No one had ever said something like that to him. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. His room was quiet, but his thoughts were loud. He kept thinking about the rainbow scarf, and he kept thinking about that man's smile. Then Elias got out of bed, put on his jacket, and walked outside. The snow was falling slowly, like feathers. The streets were silent, and then the sky exploded with color. The northern lights were brighter than ever. Elias stood there, staring upward. The lights moved like they were alive, like they were speaking. And Elias felt tears in his eyes, because he realized something. The aurora never asks permission to shine. It doesn't hide its colors. It doesn't care if someone likes it or hates it. It just exists. It shines. And it's proud. Elias whispered to himself, "If the sky can be this beautiful, why am I hiding?" The next morning, Elias woke up with a strange feeling. Not fear, not sadness, but something new. Courage. He went to his drawer and pulled out something he had hidden for years. A small rainbow pin. He bought it secretly online when he was 16, and he never wore it. He was too scared. He held the pin in his hand, staring at it. His hands were shaking, his heart was pounding, but he said quietly, "Today, I will stop running." Elias walked to the cafe. He attached the rainbow pin to his jacket. It was small, but it felt like the heaviest thing he ever carried. He stepped outside. The air was freezing. His breath came out like smoke. He started walking, and every step felt like a battle. He imagined people laughing. He imagined people staring. He imagined his family rejecting him. He imagined losing everything. But then he remembered the northern lights, and he kept walking. When Elias arrived at the cafe, his co-worker looked at him. She paused. Elias's heart stopped. He thought, "This is it." But instead, she smiled, and she said, "That pin looks really nice on you." Elias didn't know what to say. His throat felt tight. He just nodded. A few customers noticed it too. Some didn't care. Some smiled. And then, the same tourist from yesterday walked in again, the man with the rainbow scarf. He looked at Elias's jacket. His eyes widened. Then he smiled, a real smile. And he said, "I knew your eyes were kind." Elias laughed softly, but his eyes filled with tears. And for the first time in his life, he didn't feel alone. That evening, after work, Elias walked home. The snow was still falling. The streets were quiet, and the sky once again started glowing. The northern lights returned. Green, purple, blue. Elias stood there, staring upward. But this time, he didn't whisper. This time, he spoke louder. He said, "I'm not afraid anymore." And the lights danced above him like they were celebrating. Because the truth is, even in a peaceful country like Norway, many LGBTQ+ people still struggle. Not because they are weak, but because fear is powerful. And hiding yourself for years feels like survival. But listen to me carefully. You are not broken. You are not wrong. You are not a mistake. You are simply you. And just like the northern lights, your colors deserve to be seen. So if you are watching this right now and you feel scared, I want you to remember Elias. And I want you to remember this message. The world becomes more beautiful when you stop hiding. Be proud, be strong, be yourself. Because even the darkest night can still shine.